Tony, it's a while since we've spoken, but things are going pretty well. You must have been pleased with the results at Wigan.
Yeah, good result. We're in a bit of a mixed patch of how we're playing at the moment, but I can feel that we're not far off hitting our straps, but we're not quite there at the moment. Some aspects have been really good. Our defence has been terrific, and most of the time, and on our goal line, defence has been terrific and pretty solid. But some of our attack, we're not quite firing yet, and just coming up with some, elementary errors. I think just some basics that are letting us down at times. But if we get those in order, we might find some good form soon.
I mean, being top of the league in March means nothing because it's a long season, yeah, but it must be pleasing to be there on the back of the performances that you've been putting in recently.
We're not too worried about the ladder. It'll take care of itself, over the period of the season, and if we deserve to be there, well, we deserve to be there. But, I think there's a lot of teams that have had mixed form or not quite on top of their game at the moment, and, we're just one of those teams as well, and have had enough to get ourselves home at times, but it's fine line stuff some days, between getting home with a result that you want or not. And our opponents this week in Saints are a classic example of that. They've had some really close results throughout the season, but just being pipped at the post in the last minute or by a field goal. It's fine line stuff sometimes, and could have easily been us at certain stages as well.
Were you surprised Saints axed the manager?
I'm not into. I don't like seeing any coach sacked. It's my line of business, so it makes me nervous. And when I hear about coach sacked, all that sort of stuff, but it's hard to be judgmental about it. You just don't know circumstances unless you're involved, and and understand what the relationships are within a club, and all those sort of things. But, it's not a pleasurable thing for any club to go through, and certainly not the coach himself. I feel for everybody involved.
But the players certainly seemed to respond to it, didn't they, the way they performed against Leeds?
Yeah, they hit some form, whether it was because of the coach or, who knows. Nobody, you can never tell. Maybe that game was always going to come for them. They weren't far off in terms of the way they'd been playing to putting a good game together. So, it's hard. It's only, speculation that could say otherwise.
Now at Wigan, it was a very physical game. Do you think it was a bit too physical in some respects? No,
I thought it was a good game. I think both teams played really tough, and played like they both wanted to win, and I think that's how rugby league should be played. And great desire by both teams. Probably not. Both teams probably made a few too many errors at certain times in crucial times of the game. But I thought we managed the game at the back end of the game very well. When particularly with Hodgson and Breers and Monaghan, I thought there was a calmness about the way that they controlled the back end of the game, and some terrific performances by I thought Moz was terrific on the night, and Trent Waterhouse was very good, and some other players who contributed very strongly.
And some of the players picked up injuries off their own teammates.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Trent copped one in the snoz from Benny Westwood, and but hopefully.
I think Lee got his injury from one of his own teammates as well, from what he was saying.
Yeah, but they'll be all right. Both of them have come through okay, and we haven't picked up too many injuries, so we're pleased about that.
Now, I noticed we've spoken before, you're not a fan of going for the 2 points when penalties are on offer. You like playing flowing rugby and scoring the tries, but you opted to take the penalties at Wigan. Was that because you knew it was such a tight game?
Oh, and it's that part of the game, the time of the game as well. It wasn't just, we rarely would start up a game and take 2 points when there's nothing on the scoreboard or very close early game. But certainly, that's managing the game at the back end, and when you're up against a formidable team and defensively, and it's going to be tight by the back end of it. Yeah, of course, and we're not going to take outrageous risk or not take points when they're available, when it's close. That's just sensible, and I think the boys were sensible in opting for the points at that given times within the game, and I think it was the right thing to do, and they certainly had my support on that. But if we started up games and taken 2 points without any points on the scoreboard, it might be a different story. The coach might step in and take a little bit different sort of attitude. But the players buy into similar sort of philosophy. We're a team that likes to put pressure on and go for it. But certainly when the time's right, we're sensible enough to take 2 points when need to.
Now, I noticed at that game you had the acting England football manager sat by your side and having a good chat with him. What sort of things were you talking about?
He's very passionate about his rugby league. He loves his rugby league, and I think from what I gather in the way that he played, he would have been quite suited to our game. In terms of he was wholehearted and puts his body on the line when he was a player, and I think he expects a similar sort of thing as a manager from his players. So he came to observe and have a look at our culture and how we go about things, and we compared notes about certain aspects, and we're just talking about different things that were going on in the game and the approach that you take, and it was a real honour to have him there. He's a quality person and a quality manager or coach, and so to have him in our dressing room and as an observer and seeing how our culture operates was a real honour and a real privilege, and I enjoyed his company, and certainly wish him well with his career as well.
Has he altered your view on football at all?
I take interest in because in teams that he coaches. I'm not a massive supporter of any one club or team. However, when I know somebody personally, of course you look out for their team and their team's performances, and I certainly wish England well, and I always have since I've lived here, and but also because I know Stuart, and I hope that they do well, and that his career goes well.
Now, you said there weren't any injuries to worry about from the Wigan game. How are the other lads coming along who are out at the moment?
Yeah, not too bad. Calves should be back this weekend, hopefully available. So Gareth into the mix, and we'll get Mickey Hine back from suspension, and which we've had to do without him for the last couple of weeks, which we was pretty disappointed about, because it wasn't a bad incident. I think it was just the fact that it was on TV and showed it in 15 different angles rather than one, and sometimes that's what the danger of playing on TV can bring to you. So holding my breath for the next 2 or 3 weeks because we're on TV, and hopefully we don't get too many more under the same sort of circumstances. But that's part and parcel, and But having him back, certainly helps as well, and gives us a bit more option in that position. And Brad Dwyer has filled in, and he filled in well for a young man. He didn't get on the field last week, but Michael was able to play 80 minutes, and Brad was there if Michael wasn't able to play, and for the entire 80. But fortunately for Michael, he was able to.
I noticed Mozza put in a bigger shift than he normally does as well.
Yeah, Mozza was back to some of his better form, I thought. And that's how it goes. If you're doing a good job, you stay on the field. If you're starting to, wane in your performance, well, that's when you come and have a rest with the coach. So Mozza was back in some of his best, I thought. I thought he, put himself about in the right ways and did well the other night.
And now I've noticed in the media there's been some talk of Moz possibly going back to Sydney Roosters for the next season. What are your views on that?
I haven't read it, and it's a bit of a surprise for me. But if I read things, I usually check them out, but I haven't read that one yet.
Well, it has been reported that he is thinking of it, so I know his contract's up this season anyway.
If it's in the papers, it must be true.
All right, Tony. Well, good luck at the weekend against Saints, and speak to you soon.
Thanks.
Cheers.